gone in a flash. The toll is rising in the deadly natural disaster since Hawaii's statehood. Dozens killed and more than 2,000 buildings damaged or destroyed. Most of the historic town of Lahaina wiped out. And now an investigation into the emergency alert system, with residents telling us they had little to no warning of the raging fire. Many now lining up for a chance to return home. Some are finding a wasteland where their houses once stood. We meet a mother and daughter searching through the ruins, a family that may have lost 4 members, and a pregnant woman who fled the flames due to have her baby any day, desperate for a steady place to stay. We're following the massive relief effort underway. Donations pouring into Maui, neighbors racing to help each other. Gio Benitez standing by, and our team coverage across Maui. Also in our news tonight, millions on alert for extreme weather, damaging hail in the Midwest, severe storms sweeping into the east, including possible tornadoes, blistering heat as the Pacific Northwest braces for a dangerous heat wave. A deadly home explosion, the flames spreading to other homes in the neighborhood. Tonight, the search for victims and a cause. The major face-off in Iowa. The GOP presidential candidates courting voters. Rachel Scott with former President Donald Trump boasting about his big lead. And Ron DeSantis on what he needs to do to catch up. New questions after police looking for suspects in a hit and run arrest a man as he holds his baby inside an Applebee's restaurant. The actual suspects hiding in a restroom. Damar Hamlin's amazing comeback, his return to the NFL months after suffering cardiac arrest on the football field. And Maui strong, an island battered, but not defeated.
From ABC News, this is a special edition of World News Tonight. Reporting tonight from Maui.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday night. I'm Wade Johnson on the ground in Hawaii tonight at the scene of what is now the deadliest natural disaster in the state's history. The staggering toll, at least 80 people now confirmed dead, but that number is expected to climb with hundreds still unaccounted for. Once vibrant communities reduced to rubble and ashes, many comparing the scenes to a war zone. The state attorney general now opening an investigation into Maui's alert system after complaints that there wasn't enough warning for people to escape the flames. Many still desperately searching for missing loved ones. And 4 days after the disaster, we're hearing the harrowing stories of survival. This woman managed to survive 8 hours in the water and is now helping others at a shelter. Over 80% of the nearly 3,000 buildings exposed to the fire were damaged or destroyed, and most of those were residential, leaving thousands homeless and in urgent need of shelter. Disaster officials saying today that the cost of rebuilding Maui County could exceed $5 billion. We have team coverage tonight, the devastation, the relief efforts, and the hope across the island. Tonight, Hawaii's raging wildfires are now the deadliest natural disaster in state history. At least 80 lives lost on Maui, and officials are confident that number will rise. The Attorney General announcing a comprehensive review of Maui's evacuation policies, including systems for notifying residents to get out during emergencies, notifications many here say they never received. It's been only 4 days since firestorms fueled by hurricane-force winds torched entire swaths of this island paradise, and the efforts to contain those wildfires still continuing. We're in the Kula neighborhood, already ravaged by fire, and you can see the water-dropping helicopters working around the clock to still put out hot spots. For many who fled the disaster zones, still an agonizing search for housing and supplies. Did you guys get any alerts that a fire was coming towards your neighborhood?
We didn't have any alerts about the fire. We just knew about the storm.
Kevin Campbell and his fiancée Tasha Anderson, who's 9 months pregnant, had no time to pack any belongings as the smoke and flames roared towards their Lahaina home.
We grabbed our dog and the cat and our passports and friends.
The couple is now desperately searching for a steady place to live. Tasha's doctor telling her their baby boy is due any day.
Doctor said yesterday he feels like he could come anytime this week just because of the stress.
This is a photo of their destroyed home, only a melted roof lying flat on the ground. Historic Lahaina town, now a hellscape. Our Will Carr getting an up-close look.
The fire burning not only this courthouse, but also the historic banyan tree. Behind it, the tree that everybody comes to see. It's the largest in the United States, 150 years old. The flames burning everything on this block.
Nearly 1,900 homes are damaged or destroyed, according to officials. Just outside Lahaina, some residents are frustrated that they can't return to their homes after being told they could. Our Melissa Adan is there.
Hundreds and hundreds of cars are lined up along the road waiting for that opportunity to go back to their communities. It's been 4 days and they're awaiting a grim journey to see what's left of their homes.
I feel 100% that the county officials and the police and the fire department have blood on their hands. There's no way that those poor people who were stuck in Lahaina did not deserve better communication.
And it wasn't only Lahaina. Flames from a different wildfire 20 miles away ripping through homes here in Kula.
I think that's my stove right there. That was my kitchen.
Akane Joseph and her mother Mika fleeing with their family as the fire exploded in size.
We had like maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
you had 5 minutes to gather your family and get out.
Akane's father spent decades slowly building this multi-generational home with his bare hands. This video shows the 2-story house before the fire, made of eucalyptus and redwood. Now, it's all gone.
It felt like safety and it felt like home. And, you know, there's things you think you'll always have. You know, like things you think you'll give to your children. You know, pictures. You know, pictures of my parents. Like, I grabbed one wedding picture of my parents from my wall, and I felt silly doing it because I was like, we're going to come back. And now it's the only one I have.
But in their family and community, they find strength and hope.
This is done.
Yeah, we're a
so
little
nothing, nothing we can change. Can't go back. But we had to go home.
That family, like so many here, insisting they will rebuild. Now to an incredible story of survival and the urgent race to bring relief to Maui. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
Tonight, one woman's harrowing escape from the fire, in the water and clinging to a wall for more than 7 hours. Annalise Cochran telling me she is lucky to be alive. So how did you survive?
I climbed over the seawall into the ocean, and while the fire was happening and the cars were exploding, we would duck into the water and we would put our mouths as close to the surface as we could so that we could breathe.
We met today at a shelter where Annalise is now helping out and giving back.
I've had a lot of people questioning, like, why are you helping people at the shelter? Why are you giving at a time where you're hurt? And I don't feel hurt. I feel so blessed. The other people are hurt. People lost family. They lost generational houses. I'm lucky I have a family that's going to support me through this, and so it's my time to give back to my community.
She is part of a community coming together amid a critical need. Families helping to unload supplies for those who have lost everything, sorting through boxes of donations, from clothes to fresh produce. We drove along with Rex Sarbita of the Maui Food Bank as he delivered a truckload of supplies to a prep school turned aid center. We meet another man who's lived on the island all of his life, Highland Corden, who's clearly moved by the outpouring.
As you're driving out, you're going to see a lot more of it, all the trucks coming in and all that, you know. Nothing but aloha, that's all you've seen.
This is just an incredible scene here. You see students, their parents, teachers, everyone coming together to get everything from baby wipes to fruits and vegetables to snacks. Everything right here in a time of need. Everyone pitching in, trying to fill the immense need. And right now, we are at the biggest relief center here in Maui. You can just see all of those donations right there. And no doubt about it, these folks here say they will not give up. They know that the next few months and even years will be very challenging, but they are relying on that true spirit of aloha to give them strength. Whit.
Absolutely, Gio, and so many people offering support in any way that they can. Thank you. We'll have much more from Maui later on in the show, including ways that you can help make a difference. But we do turn now to other news and the severe thunderstorms threatening millions in the east. A tornado watch issued for parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. Lightning may have caused this apartment fire in a suburb of Nashville, Tennessee. One firefighter was critically injured battling the flames. Large hail hitting parts of Minnesota and Iowa as powerful storms rolled through, and millions on alert for dangerous heat. Let's get to ABC's meteorologist Samara Theodore. And Samara, where are the biggest trouble spots right now?
Good evening, Whit. That's right. Saturday night plans will be disrupted from Huntsville, Alabama to Cleveland, Ohio, all due to damaging winds as well as large hail. But take a look at this. So we are looking at an elevated risk that lies in the northeast. For much of Pennsylvania and upstate New York, isolated tornadoes are possible. Tomorrow, the threat persists from Texas to Tennessee with a new system moving in. All this while high humidity means triple-digit feel-like temperatures in the south and heat building to record status in the northwest. In fact, by Monday, temperatures could be as high as 105 degrees in Portland, Oregon. And you know, heat this rare is very extreme in areas in the northwest, which could prove to be very dangerous. Whit?
Samara Theodore, thank you. Next tonight, a deadly and fiery home explosion near Pittsburgh this morning. At least one person is dead, several others unaccounted for. Flames from the blast destroying or damaging nearby homes. Emergency responders searching the rubble tonight for survivors. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Tonight, a fatal home explosion rocking this Pittsburgh suburb, flattening buildings and scattering debris across the neighborhood.
This is the worst I've seen in 47 years, just due to the amount of damage.
Authorities in Plum, Pennsylvania, responding to reports of the blast just before 10:30 a.m. local time.
Airport of
Good evening, everybody. I'm meteorologist Kevin Appleby here. We're monitoring some severe weather across the capital region, including down in Ulster County, where a severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. If we could take graphics full and get a closer look at this storm, currently really hitting Marbletown hard and heading towards the Kingston area over the course of the next couple minutes or so. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning for Ulster County in effect until 7:15 this evening. The National Weather Service says this storm could contain, in addition to the heavy rain and frequent thunder and lightning, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail are being seen with this storm. So again, that's in effect until 7:15. There's also some more storms a little bit farther to the south and west. It's all part of a conveyor belt of storms that's moving just south of our region, including a tornado warning that was in effect earlier, some flash flood warnings in effect closer to the Pennsylvania border there. But again, as we go throughout the evening, a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect in the areas shaded in pink, including Columbia and Greene counties, and of course Ulster County. Again, that's in effect until midnight. We'll be tracking any more storms that develop over the course of the evening. We'll be breaking in with updates as needed. But again, for Ulster County, including Kingston and Marbletown, that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7:15 tonight. So be careful out there. Don't be outside if you're in that area. And as we go through the course of the evening, should any more severe storms pop up, we'll be right in. But in the meantime, we'll send it back over to programming.
This has been a News 10 ABC Storm.
How do you close the gap with the former president?
I think Iowans want to see you. They want to be able to kick the tires, and they want to know that you'll fight for them as president.
Trump today making it personal, arriving with Florida Republicans who support him over their own governor.
Governor DeSantis is more like-minded to where I think he can bring the United States together as a people. We don't need division, and that's kind of what Trump does right now.
We do know he can do the job. We just don't want to put up with all the controversy with him.
The former president now bracing for a possible fourth indictment in Georgia and could be on trial in a separate case starting January 2nd, 2 weeks before the Iowa caucuses. Trump has denied any wrongdoing.
Can you hold on to your lead here in Iowa? Are you concerned about spending more time in a courtroom than campaigning?
We have the biggest lead anyone's ever seen.
Trump leads DeSantis in Iowa by 24 points, according to a recent New York Times Siena College poll. No other candidate has double-digit support, including former Vice President Mike Pence, still challenged by voters about certifying the 2020 election on January 6th.
You're a traitor!
Yeah, I kept my oath to the Constitution of the United States, and I'm confident that in time, even people that didn't understand that then may not understand it now are going to come around.
Rachel Scott joining us now from the Iowa State Fair. And Rachel, the caucus is just 5 months away, but many candidates see this as an opportunity to test their message, especially before that debate.
Exactly what several candidates have told me. They see the timing of the Iowa State Fair as pivotal. It's an opportunity for them to test their message before that critical debate, now less than 2 weeks away. 8 candidates have made the debate stage, but it's still unclear if the former president will participate. Whit.
Rachel Scott on the campaign trail. Thank you. New details tonight on the arrest of a man in Kenosha, Wisconsin, taken down and pepper sprayed at an Applebee's restaurant while holding his baby, why he's now facing charges. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, authorities in Kenosha, Wisconsin, launching an investigation after video shows officers tackling a man with a baby in his arms as they search for hit-and-run suspects.
The female black that's running, she has a baby with her.
Police say they were looking for a black man and a woman carrying a child back in July when officers entered this Applebee's. According to a criminal complaint, the staff had reported a group matching that description inside the restaurant who appeared nervous. Officers approaching Jermel English Jr., who was with his fiancée and their baby. When police say English refused to answer the officers' questions, they detained him. English's baby still clinging to his shirt.
He's not squeezing you.
Employees grabbing the child just moments before an officer strikes English. Kenosha police say the officers also deployed pepper spray, but add the child was not in the immediate area when pepper spray was used, so wasn't directly exposed. It's hard to say if the child was affected due to any particulates in the air.
I just felt bad for the baby.
Applebee's manager Jennifer Harris later telling ABC News that police found those hit-and-run suspects hiding in the restaurant's bathroom. Tonight, though English was not involved in that crash, he still faces charges of disorderly conduct and resisting an arrest.
I think they still felt like what they did to the first couple was justifiable because he didn't answer their questions.
The Kenosha Police Department says it's reviewing that incident to determine if the officers involved acted appropriately. Applebee's says it's cooperating with that investigation, adding the safety and well-being of its guests and team members is a top priority.
Morgan Norwood, thank you. And there is growing outrage tonight after Lansing, Michigan police detained a 12-year-old child while he was taking out the trash. The boy seen in handcuffs in this viral video. The police chief later apologizing for the incident, calling it an unfortunate case of wrong place, wrong time. Police also releasing this side-by-side photo saying the teen matched the description of a suspect in a string of car thefts. We're following breaking news as well from Arlington, Virginia tonight. Multiple people have been rushed to hospitals, including a police officer, after there are several crashes on Interstate 395. Reports from the scene say a truck slammed into several vehicles. Police say the driver then stole an ambulance and was chased down by officers. That driver now in custody. Next tonight, a U.S. Marine has been charged with sexually assaulting a minor at Camp Pendleton in California. This follows discovery of a missing 14-year-old girl at the base barracks in June. The Marine, who's not been identified, could face a court-martial. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for next week. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday. He once joked on a game show about regretting his marriage. Now he's been sentenced for murdering his wife. Stay with us. Next tonight, an Illinois man who once joked on TV about regretting his marriage has been given 3 life sentences for the murder of his wife. Timothy Bleifnick made his joke while appearing on Family Feud in 2020. He said nothing at his sentencing on Friday. Bleifnick's wife, Rebecca, was shot multiple times at her home in February. The couple had 3 young sons. Still ahead here tonight, the comeback story of the year. Damar Hamlin returns to the football field. To the index now. Today, Damar Hamlin returned to the football field. The Buffalo Bills safety suited up for a preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts. You'll remember in January, Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest while playing, but today he jumped right back into it, making 3 tackles in the first half. Great to see. When we come back here, Maui strong, finding hope in the face of devastation. Finally tonight, in the middle of devastation and loss here on Maui, the images of hope. This family right here in a group hug, husband, wife, and his mother embracing when they reunited at a shelter. A woman cradling her cat after finding him in the aftermath of the fires. And a woman holds a page from a yearbook she recovered when searching the ashes of her home. And her family right there. For anyone who wants to help the victims here on Maui, you can scan the QR code right there on the screen, or you can go to our website, abcnews.com, for a list of organizations ready to assist. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I'm Whit Johnson on Maui. I'll see you tomorrow morning on GMA. Good night.